49ers Ultimate Report. This is John Jay, your 49ers reporter, opinionist, analyst, and die-hard fan. Welcome to another episode on my Saturday series, 49ers Debate Opponents. I want to say thank you very much for helping me grow this great series. I've had fun doing it with all these great guests. But before we jump into the episode, I want to give a shout out to everyone that's in the chat, in my comment section, my subscribers, those who've been following me, because you've helped me grow this channel. This channel is getting bigger and bigger every single day, and I appreciate your great, great support. So shout out to the 49ers Ultimate Report fans as well. So we are doing it again. The Niners and the Vikings, my great Saturday series. As I debate with them, we preview the game. We talk about 49ers and our opponents. I want to give a major shout out to the Jag Wars podcast who came on my show last week. So shout out to him and all my guests. Last week we talked about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the 49ers. But now we're moving on to tomorrow's game. It's going to be a good one. And I mean, when I mean to be a good one, there's playoff implications. Both teams want to get closer and closer to that playoff position. So on Wednesday, I have her back on. I brought my guest on I had on Wednesday, and now she's back on again. You guys don't need no introduction. Let's bring in Jade. She goes by her YouTube channel, A Hip Lady. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks so much for having me back. I'm excited to do a little preview here, a little deep dive into this one. It'll be fun.
Yep. Again, thanks again. Again, you are one of the few 49ers Ultimate Report guests that's been on multiple times now. So shout out to you.
Yes, thank you. Feel special.
Yeah. You still have to catch up to my boy Peo Time and my boy Moro Tanaka because they've been on 3 times. So you'll catch up.
Right on.
Yeah. You'll catch up to them. All right. So before we jump into the show, I wanted to talk more about the situation about, the Vikings, news and updates about this Everson Griffin. The last thing that I heard that he's been put on a non-playing list where he's not going to be playing. So what is the updates? What's going on with Everson Griffin and this situation?
Yeah, I mean, basically he's on like the IR, but it's non-injury related. So that's kind of the latest. I mean, that's what's going on. The latest was that he was getting the care that he needed. I'm not exactly sure if he's at some sort of like mental health facility or anything like that, but I would not imagine, because it seems like it's indefinite too. I think that was the word that I read about that. So don't expect him anytime soon to return. So it's just too bad, but glad that he's getting the help that he needs. And football is like second fiddle right now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're gonna be without him, I think, for the rest of the season. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm just looking at all the comments in the chat, and we already have some predictions. Niners 33.
Oh man,
19. I want to say what's up to my boy Joneth, my Bears fan. What's up to Tommy? I want to say hello to Summer Home. Nice to meet you. My boy David in the house as always. My boy J Mouse. Pale Time. I want to say what's up to Nico. All right. Here we go. So let's jump right into the show. And first, before we do all the shows, I want to get your thoughts on last week's game. I know it's been a week since, you guys played, but I want to get your final overall thoughts on, you guys played the Packers. It's a divisional rival. It's always fun to watch a divisional rival, but I just want to get your final thoughts on your game last week.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Of all the teams, like me personally, as a Vikings fan, if they could get the win versus the evil to the east, I call them, the Green Bay Packers, it's the best. The defense, head coach Mike Zimmer, they were really able to shake things up with the fiance, Shailene Woodley's fiance, he who shall not be named. I can't stand the Green Bay quarterback, so I don't even really acknowledge him by name. But really good that they were able to rattle him up, and he wasn't really on his game. I think he liked to blame a lot of that on the toe. Got to see some more Justin Jefferson, and the Vikings actually got the win in the end. They, of course, typical purple. They make us wait until the very, very end. They keep us like on our toes the entire time, but it was nice to get that victory, especially of it against another division opponent in the NFC North. So, and a winning team. So it's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not watch the game. I saw the replay. I saw the highlights. And that game could have gone either way. I personally believe, and this is just my opinion, that the Packers are overrated. That's just my opinion.
Ooh, yeah.
And then the Vikings, I'm sorry, but they're also overrated. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I would totally agree with that. And funny that you mentioned that too. The Vikings they lucked out in that game. They had so many calls go their way, and like Kirk Cousins, 2 interceptions that got reversed that could have really changed the momentum on that one. So they definitely lucked out.
Yep. Yeah. So that game, anything could have happened. Anything could have happened last week for the 49ers. We played the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was nervous. I wasn't going to lie, because the way our season's been going, nothing makes sense for the 49ers this year. So I was like, if we win, it's good for us. If we lose, it's normal, because nothing makes sense for the 49ers. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that before we move on as well.
Because how much was the victory by over that? Was it 20-point victory?
It was
something
30. Like it was 30-10. It was 30-10.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump right into some of the players. First, we're talking about some of the Vikings players. I got some defensive players I want to talk about. Then I'm going to talk about the offensive players. So these are some key players that I looked up. I did my homework on. But first, let's talk about Eric Kendricks. He leads the team in tackles, 103 total tackles, 5 tackles for loss. He also has 4 sacks, which is pretty good. He also has 4 pass defenders, which means that he's batted the ball away from the receivers, which is pretty good. He also has 2 interceptions. He has two interceptions and a fumble recovery. So he's basically recovered 3 total, turnovers for his team, which is really good numbers. And he's amazing. Of course, Harrison Smith, 62 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 3 pass defenders, and a forced fumble. On the defensive side of the ball, besides these players, and you can touch on these players, but when you look at the numbers that these 2 players have this year, and of course, you could talk about any other players. When you look at this defense, they got a lot of good talent.
Yeah.
Good talent.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think Eric Kendricks, I've said this so many times, I'm saying it again. I think he is like overall like the best defensive player that we have. Reliable, consistent. He's been with Mike Zimmer a long time. And then Harrison Smith, he missed the last 2 games before this last one. And again, he's a veteran. He's been on the team with Eric Kendricks, been under Zimmer for a long time. Zimmer likes to really utilize Harrison Smith in a lot of really unique ways. He's kind of like his little secret, not so secret weapon. So it's nice to see him being back too. And then our defensive line is in trouble right now. Who just went on? So there's no Michael Pierce, obviously no Everson Griffin. So that's a tough situation. And then Dalvin Tomlinson just went on I think the COVID list. So it seems like for our defensive side, like Sheldon Richardson, I wrote down, is going to be one to watch. And then Armon Watts too. And then James Lynch, ones to watch, because they're really going to have to step up because all of our starters are basically out. So
yeah. Tommy Huxley, and I had to put this up. He said, Jade is right. Those slackers get away with murder. That's funny.
Yeah.
I had to put
they definitely got away with some calls this last one for sure. They lucked out.
Yeah. One thing about, I've always liked Eric Kendricks. Of course, he's never played for the Niners, but he's always been good wherever he's played. Harrison Smith, I've heard so many great things, even when he came out from college. And even though, these players are not the same players that they were just a few years ago.
No.
That's some really good talent. But we're going to talk about it a little bit later. While you guys have a lot of good players, there's a lot of question marks that I want to ask.
There are. Yeah. I mean, they've been around. For a while. So you know what that means. They're getting a little old.
Yeah. Let's see. Jay says Fred Warner is better than Eric Kendricks.
What?
Well, I have to agree with Jake because Fred Warner Sr., Fred Warner's father, follows me on YouTube, so I have to always support his son.
Right.
I have to agree with that. All right, Fred
Yeah.
Warner Sr., yeah, your son is better than Eric Kendricks.
Wow. I mean, that's saying something, being better than Eric Kendricks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now I have nothing to say about this because, I knew that this offense was good and it was hard to pick, a small list. But first of all, let's talk about Justin Jefferson. That guy is a beast.
Yep.
I don't know what to say. And then Adam
He's doing
Thielen.
great.
Adam Thielen, his story I really like. He was basically bounced around. He made it the hard way, and he's becoming a top receiver. I'm not saying he's number one, but he's a really good receiver. And
He's solid.
Dalvin Cook, I know a lot of people make fun of me. He's a really good running back. He doesn't get a lot of respect for whatever the reason. Basically, Dalvin Cook, I want to talk about him. 734 yards, averaging 4.6 per carry. He has 4 rushing touchdowns. Also, on the other side of the receiving game, 138 yards, 6.6 average. Talk about Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, or any of the offensive players on your squad.
I mean, yeah, those three. I mean, those three are, of course, like the ones that come to mind, right? And I mean, Justin Jefferson having a great second year. Been utilizing him a lot more, which is good because head coach Mike Zimmer likes to focus on the run. So it's nice that we're getting to see more of Justin Jefferson. So I hope he can just keep it up. He makes amazing catches sometimes too, like amazing catches. Cause like Kirk is decent, but there are some times where it's like, Kirk, who are you throwing to? And then Jefferson manages to get it. Adam Thielen is always very, very solid. I do feel as if Adam Thielen has been he's been vocal about his frustrations, but I think he kind of gets a little like whiny sometimes when he doesn't get the ball enough. But I mean, if they're looking to go in the end zone, if they're on like a 1st and goal, 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal, you look for Adam Thielen because they're going to target him. And then Dalvin Cook, he's been very, very solid. He's been dealing with injury though. And it just seems like this year, honestly, he's really like regressing. He's had some stuff going on off the field too. And I don't know, it seems like 1 or 2 times out of 10 when he gets the run, he'll burst out, for a first down. But it seems like every other time he's losing yards or barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. And then as far as the rest of the offense goes, CJ Ham, they really utilize the fullback a lot. Our backup running back, Alexander Madison's pretty good. I'm a fan of his. KJ Osborne, a wide receiver that's very, very good, that has been kind of underutilized. And then Tyler Conklin, our tight end, is pretty solid as well.
Let's see, my boy Jay Mouse, he's a very funny joke. I wanted to put this comment up. Do you think Kirk Cousins will have 5 interceptions?
Woo! I mean, I can see it. I mean, especially if the pressure gets on Kirk right away, if he gets rattled, might be hard for him to come back. I mean, when the pressure's on Pizza Boy, he has a difficulty. So we'll see.
And then while he says your quarterback doesn't have 5, he says our quarterback doesn't have 5 touchdowns. And
but
I like my boy Jay Mouse, but I think he's giving too much credit for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G throwing 5 TDs.
Hey, if Jimmy throws 5 touchdowns, I will tell that Jay Mouse is a sidekick because he saw something.
Yeah, like a Nostradamus.
Yeah. Let's see. All I will say about Justin Jefferson, there was a reason why last year he had the numbers that he had. He's really good. When he was in LSU, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen, he doesn't get, the same amount of respect because, he wasn't a number 1 pick, etc.
Right.
But he's been very consistent his entire career. I think he's always had like over 80 catches a year.
He's a hard worker. And like, he wants to win. He really does. Like, you can tell that he really wants to win. And yeah, Minnesota boy too. I think he went to like an open tryout or something to get on the team originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with Luke Luna that Cook. Yeah, I like Dalvin Cook, but for some reason he doesn't get. He's not mentioned in that top 5 list. Like people think Ezekiel and those guys are better than him.
I'm surprised that Dalvin, because like I don't know, like that's all I hear. I mean, maybe it's because I'm in Minnesota, but like that's all I hear is like Dalvin. So I'm surprised that it's not like more rampant throughout the league.
I want to say what's up to my other buddy who's a Bears fan, TOP. He says go Niners because I think he doesn't like the Vikings.
Fair enough. I understand that. Fair enough.
Right. Okay. All right, now let's talk about the 49ers and the best team in the NFL.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, let's look at some of our key players. I don't have to put the stats on because the 49er people, they know his stats. But, of course, Debo Samuel, I think in my opinion, better than Justin Jefferson.
Might be. I mean, how many years has Debo been in the league?
This is his third year, but last year he only played half the season. So, but
That's right.
he's having a good year. Basically, he's matching up, the numbers of Jerry Rice. So when you're
That's
being talked
amazing.
about, so
yeah.
Plus, I'm also a little bit biased because Jerry Rice, best receiver in the NFL.
Well, I don't know. Randy Moss comes to mind, but no, yeah, Jerry Rice.
Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, we had a conversation. Who's better, Randy Moss or Jerry Rice? But the
tomato.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's a different conversation for another time.
Right.
George Kittle, in the last 3 weeks, he's been stepping up. He's a very dangerous guy. He's utilized not just in the pass game, but in the run game. Also in the blocking, he's an extension. So instead of your typical 5, you have a 6 offensive lineman. And, of course, Nick Bosa, I don't have to say nothing. He's Defensive Player of the Year. Again, I'm biased. He's really,
I keep hearing that name a lot.
Yeah, Nick Bosa. Week. And he's going to be eating against Kirk Cousins. That's all I want to say.
I mean, oh, man, I could see it. I mean, I want Kirk to prove it here. I think this is going to be a big prove it game for Mr. Kirk Cousins this weekend.
And you're going to hear this name a lot tomorrow. Azeez Al-Shaair. That's a mouthful. This guy is a really good linebacker. He stepped up for Greenlaw because Greenlaw, has been dealing with injuries. He had surgery, so he's been the guy that stepped up. So I want to ask you, as a Vikings fan, when you look at these 4, players, who are you most worried and why?
Well, I would say Azeez Al-Shaair because that name sticks out to me because I'm unfamiliar with that one. When I'm unfamiliar, that makes me a little nervous here. Obviously George Kittle too. I mean, just like him and Bosa are just like beasts. And obviously, Nick Bosa. I think Christian Darrisaw, we kind of talked about that a little bit before, rookie for the Vikings. I think they're going to be matched up, so might have his hands full. And Kirk, I think, going to have to get rid of the ball quickly. No hanging onto the ball very long tomorrow. So I don't know. I'm just I'm nervous too. The Vikings secondary. There's been a lot of Vikings secondary purple problems. So I don't know. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good matchup.
All right, I want to say hello to my boy Gavin, my international 49er fan. He's from Wales. And he lives 49ers. I want to always say what's up to my international. I have a lot of international 49er fans.
That's awesome.
Shout out to my fellow content creator, CG. And I have to put Payo Time. What's up, Payo Time again? Ooh. And he says Cooper Kupp. And I disagree. I think Debo is the best receiver, but I'm biased. But I wanted to show
Cooper Kupp's very good. Very good.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So, when it comes to Debo Samuel, one thing that, your defense is going to find out that he could run the football. And I personally don't want him to run the football, but he can run the football. If he has any open speed when he catches the football, I don't know who can match him up with that speed, but Debo is fast.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa, I don't know what to say, Defensive Player of the Year. And Azeez Al-Shaair is going to help them out with the run game and the pass game because his lateral movement is really good side to side. So if they throw a short pass, Azeez Al-Shaair is going to pounce on it.
Kirk likes to do that. They like to do that a lot. Yeah.
So those are some of the 49er players. Yeah, so we'll see how all these standout players will do.
Yeah, we'll see how the matchups go. I'm looking forward to it very much so. It's going to be a good one.
Now we're going to go to my favorite segment. I'm the numbers guy. I love numbers.
Crunch those numbers.
Yep.
Crunch
those numbers. All right, so we're going to talk about first the Vikings defense and then the Vikings offense, and then we'll talk about the 49ers. So here's something very interesting that I kind of already knew, but I wanted to get your thoughts because numbers don't tell the whole picture. So let's talk about the Vikings defense. They're 21st in the pass, so they're at the bottom.
Yeah.
Over 200 and almost 252 yards. and their run defense averages 127 rushing yards to opposing.
Yikes.
When you look at these numbers, tell me what the numbers are not telling us, or are these numbers accurate? Is this defense not as good as they used to be?
I honestly think they're pretty accurate. I really do. And like the defense, they're getting ancient. They're getting old, and they've been on the field for a long time during the games. They get tired, especially in the second half. And we've had secondary problems. We've had secondary issues with our cornerbacks on and off the field this season as well. And there's been some Twitter fights and whatnot going on between a couple of our cornerbacks, young cornerbacks as well. And it seems like it's just like our veterans like Smith, Barr, Kendricks, that are solid. And then like Cam Dantzler, Brashad Breeland. I mean, he's a veteran, but only been with the team for a minute. So it's just like they're not vibing. There's problems. And I think, honestly, they get very tired. And it seems like Zimmer's supposed to be this like defensive mastermind, and it seems like things are slipping. And one of his specialties is supposed to be being able to develop these cornerbacks, and haven't really seen a lot of that. So, yeah, I think it's pretty accurate, to be honest.
All right, I want to say hello to Sean. I think this is the first time I see his name on my show. What is up? He just notified me that Green Law is activated. So that is really, really good news for the 49ers. I don't know how much snaps he's going to get because he's been away for a while. And I have to say hello to this guy. This guy is a really great dude. Always says, great stuff about me. Nelson, this guy is, a really good guy. I always want to say what's up to my boy Nelson.
What up, Nelson?
How are you doing, man? I hope you're having a good day, Nelson. And my resident Cardinals fan. You know what happened between you and the Cardinals? You guys lost. So,
no, I forgot. Why'd you have to bring that up?
All right.
No, yeah, that was a tough one. So many people blame just like the kicker on that one. It's like it's a team thing here. It's a team thing. But yeah, that was a toughie.
Yep. All right. So yeah, one thing that while you guys have a really, really good offense, I'll give credit. That offense is like with those wide receivers. Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback. I looked at his numbers.
Yeah,
his numbers. I don't know why, but he doesn't get a lot of credit. But his numbers, he's passing the ball much better, than most of the league.
I think a lot of like the help with his numbers too is like up until these last couple of games, he doesn't really throw the ball a lot. Like, and Zimmer too, like head coach Mike Zimmer, the fact that he has to focus on the offense being better than the defense, I think is really hard too. So, I mean, making steps though. They're making steps.
Yeah.
With the offense.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's going to go, but if Elijah Mitchell is active and he's playing, that's not going to look good on your defense. Because Elijah Mitchell, for some reason, is playing really great for a rookie who's a 6th round draft selection. So we'll see how that your run defense against that guy. But we still have Jeff Wilson Jr., who I'm still worried because he had a meniscus. And then Trey Sermon hasn't been playing at the level that I would want because he was drafted in the 3rd round. But we'll see how your defense plays with us. And of course,
I bet they've been watching a lot of tape on Elijah Mitchell for sure. I bet that's a point of focus for the team. I bet.
Yeah, and the last time Jimmy Garoppolo played a pass defense that wasn't really good, he did really good. So
he did well. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I think this game's about matching points. All right. So now let's talk about your offense. Your offense is good. 8th best in the league in your pass game, 11th best in the run game. So tell me about your offense because I think we talked about that already.
Yeah. No, I mean. The pass, they've been focusing on that some more. I would like to see if that number, if they stay 8th or if they move higher as the games continue, because kind of like I was mentioning, they haven't really been focusing so much on passing the ball, which is like so many people here are like, throw to Justin Jefferson, throw the ball. And it's like, finally the team listened and they heard like all the chirping that's been going around. Like everybody in the fans have been like, throw the ball, please. And I'm surprised too that the run is where it's at because every time I see a run happen, it's like for a gain of like 2 yards, if that, or they're getting like Dalvin's getting like stuffed at the line of scrimmage again. So, and it's crazy, especially in these last couple of years for the Vikings to have the offense be like the better of the two, I guess, over the defense. So, but it's been looking good. I want to see it continue though.
All right. So I know this is not 49er related, but apparently my boy Gavin, he's a Nuggets fan.
NBA fan.
And he's taking a shot at the best basketball team right now, the Golden State Warriors. I'm biased. I love anything Bay Area.
Man, the Timberwolves just had a nice win over the Miami Heat. They lost last night, but the Timberwolves have been on a little winning streak here.
Yep. Anyway, let's go back to football. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about my Niners. Now it's our turn. And I have a lot to say about these numbers, but I wanted to get an outside perspective. So let's look at the defense. Our pass defense is allowing just over 200 yards a game. We're third in the league. Our run defense has always been bad the entire year. It's not the same. So when you look at our defense, are you worried about our defense? Are you worried about our pass defense or run defense?
Oh, the pass defense for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I think this is why too, like Kirk's going to have to put up or shut up. Like he's really going to have to step it up. Like when the pressure's on, he cowers. He cowers like a little frightened turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dalvin too. I mean, dude, be ready to run. I think too, they're going to honestly utilize CJ Ham a lot, that fullback. And then, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It's going to be a good matchup, but I think it'll be interesting too to see how the Vikings offense, especially Kirk, Jefferson, Thielen, how they get the ball out, how they scheme with that, especially with our very young rookie offensive coordinator.
Yeah. So we have a Bears fan. His name is TOP, and he has a question. If the Vikings don't make the playoffs, do you think they'll fire Mike Zimmer?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the purple pitchforks up until these last 2 games, it was like every week was like, is Zimmer going to keep his job? Is this the week that Zimmer goes? So I think at this point he's secured like the rest of the season, but he's in his 8th year as head coach with the Vikings. So it's just like, dude, if you don't get it done, it's never going to happen. So I definitely think if they do not make the playoffs, like he's gone. I kind of think he's gone already anyway, unless something like miraculous happens. I think he's out anyway, but I think if they don't make the playoffs, yeah, for sure.
I want to say what's up to Anthony, a 49er faithful of mine. He said, "Sup 49er family, don't forget, Cousins was one of the QB Shanahan wanted."
Oh, yeah. Well, former besties, Kyle and Kirk, best friends. Yeah, best friends.
All right. So, all right. So this defense, just to summarize it, our pass defense, we don't allow a lot of yards. The problem is that if you guys can have a chance, Josh Norman, just remember that name. He leads the corners with the most penalties and the secondary with the most penalties.
Okay.
While he has some really good numbers, his numbers are really good this year. His numbers are really good. I did not know how good he was, but the penalties have hurt the 49ers. So if he and the rest of the secondary play penalty free, which is going to be really hard with those wide receivers that you guys are going to have, there's going to be a lot of penalties. And I'm a little bit worried.
I feel like you're calling it. Yeah, I feel like we might see some flags flying around. Yeah.
And then when it comes to our run defense, the last couple of games, we've been doing really well. But the Rams, because we had a huge lead, they started to throw the ball because they were trailing. And of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars had an issue, running the ball against us. But we were beating them, so they had to throw the ball a lot. So it wasn't really fair. So the last couple of weeks, we've been blowing out both teams. So they have not been able to control the time of possession. So our run game is a problem. So that's going to be something that you guys could capitalize. But like I said, this game is not going to be easy for either teams. This is going to be a very great game. And I feel that both teams are going to step up really, really well. So
it'll be interesting to see too, as far as like the Vikings are concerned, like if they keep pushing with the pass or go back to specifically running the ball the majority of the time, because that's how Mike Zimmer likes it. So if there's problems early with the pass, we could see them really going back to the run game, which has kind of been struggling, to be honest. So yeah, it'll be a good one.
All right, let's see. JV just vibes.
What up, JV?
Justin Jefferson or Anthony Edwards?
No, I love them both. Ant's doing great. Ant's killing it. Oh, I gotta take them both. We get them both here, at least for now. Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So let's talk about our offense, and let's just say our offense. I would not say we were good, but we're 15th. We're 15th in the league because of our quarterback. Our run game has been very phenomenal. When we have Elijah Mitchell, man, it's unfair. I'm sorry for any other running backs, any other defense, but when it comes to Elijah Mitchell, this guy is fast. Once he gets open speed and he runs outside the tackles, and if he's able to run through the tackles, those linebackers better hit him because the speed of Elijah Mitchell. And hopefully he's playing. But if not,
when will y'all know? I guess, when does that injury? Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow morning that comes out, that final.
So basically, 90 minutes before the game, they post the injury report.
What's the word there? Like, do y'all think that he'll be in, or like what is the word there?
Right now, he was practicing all week. He participated in 11-on-11 drills. But we'll see how it is, because he has 2 injuries. He has a rib and a thumb. He broke his thumb, so I don't know how fast a thumb, a broken thumb heals up.
Yeah,
and a rib injury
too. Yeah,
and I've had a rib injury.
That sounds painful.
It's not fun. And when you try to breathe, it's not really fun. So
yeah,
I want to say what's up to my boy Reaper Cobra is in the house. I have not seen this guy in a while. I hope you're having a really, really good afternoon. Yeah. So, all right. So that's enough about the numbers. But now let's look at some of the key matchups. And there's a lot of key matchups on this game, but I had to make a short list. So first, we're going to start off with Nick Bosa, who is the best defensive player in the NFL, I have to say. And he's going to be either on the right side or on the left side, because they've been moving Nick Bosa. So tell us who your right tackle and your left tackle is, and how are they going to stop Nick Bosa?
I think it's Christian Darrisaw is one of our tackles. I don't know who our other tackle is. I should look it up. But yeah, I think it's gonna be trouble for sure. I think it's gonna be hard. And I think it's gonna be Christian Darrisaw that's probably gonna be matched up. They've been kind of like switching people around. But I don't know. It's gonna be tough because he's a rookie, but he's been playing well. And I think I don't know who the other one is. I mean, I can look it up quick if you want, but
yeah. So Nick Bosa has been playing both sides, and I've been actually a little bit surprised why he's going against the right tackles as well. Christian Darrisaw, when he was coming out, he was a swing player. He could play the guard and the tackle, and that's one thing that if we did not trade up, we could have helped get that offensive line. But we traded up. We got Trey Lance instead, which I'm very excited. But
that's exciting.
When it comes to Nick Bosa, there was a guy in the Philadelphia Eagles who was 6'7", 370-something pounds, and Nick Bosa just flew by him so many times. So it's unfair, and it's just unfair in my opinion how good Nick Bosa is. He's coming off an ACL injury. Like,
I think,
how is that even possible?
I think Brian O'Neill maybe is one of our left or right tackle. I think now that comes to mind, and he's been pretty solid. He's been pretty solid.
Yeah. All right. So I think I have a question from my boy James. He said, John J, Steph Curry or Debo Samuel? Well, I like both these players, but I'm a little bit more biased. I like Debo a little bit more because I'm a football guy, so that's just my personal. I love football a little bit more than basketball. But thanks for the question, my boy J Mouse. Yep. All right. So I think that this might be a victory for you, Justin Jefferson versus the 49ers cornerback. Who do you like more, our corners or your wide receiver?
Well, I hear that your corners are having difficulties, right? They've been having trouble with secondary. It sounds like the Vikings too. Secondary. I think this is also going to be a very important game for Justin Jefferson too. And I haven't really been hearing a lot about that because this is one of the bigger games since he's been in the league with Minnesota. Like this is one of the bigger ones. I mean, yeah, they're both 5-5, but this game kind of like will potentially like dictate the rest of like the season. And I think the pressure is going to be on. So, but I think he can live up to the expectations. So I think Justin Jefferson's looking pretty good. But like I said, I mean, there's been a lot of chatter about him. So the pressure is going to be on. He's still a young player, only in year number 2, but you know, he's been in the spotlight here. I think he's going to be able to handle it all right. He's going to dominate.
So Gavin brings up a point. So I want to ask you, Vikings are terrible on the road and the 49ers are terrible at home. LOL. What a matchup. And yes, the Niners have won one game this season at home. So
yeah, it's been kind of the opposite actually for the Vikings. Like they actually have been playing terrible at home and better on the road, which is weird. Yep.
John Jay is really a Ravens fan.
A Ravens fan?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lamar. Tommy, I'm a Ravens fan.
Yeah, that's funny.
My boy Tommy, he's a joker. But he's a good dude. All right, now I think this is the best matchup and another matchup for the 49ers. Debo versus that secondary, and Debo won this matchup. All right, what do you think?
No, I mean, yeah, honestly, I think like we could just like say Justin Jefferson gets it and Debo Samuel gets it, and there we go, and see what happens. Right, but yeah, oh man, the Vikings secondary, they've been doing better, but there's been a lot of drama, like I said, on the field and off the field, especially with Cam Dantzler and Brashad Breeland, and sometimes that sprinkles over into onto the field. So hopefully everybody's on their A game because the defense for the Vikings is already in trouble. So we need the people that have been playing to be playing at their A game, A+, high caliber. So yeah, I think they're going to have their hands full.
I know because I just realized something very funny, like Debo against the Lions, you know, he had a really great game, and that's your division. Debo had a really great game against the Bears, so you know something's telling me he's going to have a great game against another NFC North.
Yeah, I think you might be right here. We're getting some foreshadowing here. I don't know. The Vikings, and if the 49ers are on the field, if they get control of the clock and control of like the time and make the Vikings defense stay on the field for a long period of time, that's where also some trouble will happen. Yeah.
All right. And then the last matchup for this game, I chose the 49ers run offense versus the Vikings run defense. And as I mentioned, Elijah Mitchell, if he plays, that's going to do it's going to help the 49ers because I did not know how bad your run defense were. I thought you guys would be much better, but
yeah.
Are you worried about Elijah Mitchell after everything I told you about him if he played?
Yeah. So like part of me is just like I feel like if the Vikings have some sort of like good luck charm, like he's not gonna play. Like that might be some sort of good luck charm for him or for the team, him not playing. And I think it might be a problem because our defensive line, it's banged up. You know, we got obviously Eric Kendricks in there, Harrison Smith. They clean up. They kind of go wherever all the time, but they can't be everywhere all the time. So I had written down Sheldon Richardson, one to watch, Armon Watts, and James Lynch. So Armon Watts has been pretty solid on the defensive. He's defensive tackle. So yeah, well, oh man. Hopefully they've been watching the tape. Watching the film.
All right. I always want to give a shout out to all those who help support this channel.
Oh, yeah.
From my channel memberships to all the great donation. This guy, he's a real Ravens fan, Tommy. He's a real Ravens
Take that,
fan.
Tommy.
He's a real Ravens. And he just donated $5. I really appreciate it. All this money is going to go back into the channel so we can get better overlays and even great stuff. I give back to my community. I always want to make sure that you guys are not, take it for granted. I always like I said, this is a community channel. My channel is probably the only 49er channel. I read your comments. I bring in great guests on because I want you guys to have the best entertainment on this wonderful channel. So be like CEO and many of my great supporters who've helped grow this channel. So shout out to CEO.
Right on. Yeah, that's awesome.
Fan. And good luck to the Ravens.
Yeah, good luck to the Ravens. Yeah.
I think that's why Tommy thinks I'm because I say nice things about the Ravens.
There we go.
Right. All right, now we're going to this part of the show, which I really like. How both teams win. The keys to victory. What are the keys for the Minnesota Vikings to win this game?
I think the key to victory for the Vikings is to utilize your offense predominantly. Like, don't shy away from throwing the ball. Like, don't shy away from throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson. Don't shy away from doing that. And I would love to see the Vikings, if and when they take a lead, to keep the foot on the gas, to keep it up and go for the jugular, go for the dagger. Don't just like sit there and, oh, well, we're just going to like wait until the clock runs out, even though we have a 1-point lead. Like, get in the game and finish the game up until the very end. And again, I think focusing on throwing the ball is key for the offense. And for the defense, I think Eric Kendricks and Harrison Smith are going to be extra important, more than they normally are, because they're the crafty veterans. They've been around, and our defense is really banged up. So it's like, just step it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, Gavin says, whose stock will rise tomorrow? So we'll see what players. Yeah,
it's tough to pick.
Yeah, it's hard. Yep.
Yeah.
So the 49ers, like this entire, season, I've been saying the same thing, and I'm going to continue with the number one thing is how Nick Bosa plays against the tackles, the left tackle or the right tackle. Last week, the league saw that Nick Bosa was held a lot of times. There were a lot of when the camera showed Nick Bosa on the replays where he was being choked, hand on the face mask. It's not really fair because they do have to hold Nick Bosa, but if Nick Bosa goes one-on-one, depending on what side of the ball, he's going to win every matchup because he's very quick. So that's going to be one way for us to slow down the run game, the pass game.
Yeah. And like our centers have been swapping around too, now that I think about it. I mean, they've been switching out the center the last couple of weeks too. Yeah. Garrett Bradbury and Mason Cole. So,
yeah.
Oh, man. That could be a downfall, the offensive line too for Minnesota, which has been a problem for years.
Yeah.
So
also a new thing that I started to do is how our receiving core works, in tandem, which is something new because Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle 3 games in a row where both these guys have had touchdowns in each 3 games. So imagine if they score Ayuk and Kittle 4 games in a row, that's going to really, put the momentum on how the offensive plays.
Yeah. So and it's all about the momentum too. That's really, just honestly really important. Like, who's going to get the momentum and who's going to, keep going with it, ride it out.
Yeah. So that's going to be the next key. And then the third and final key is the secondary must not give up penalties, because that's one of the things that's been going on in the last couple of weeks. They've been playing penalty-free, football in the secondary. Of course, there were blowouts, so the game plans of the offense have to switch. But if we play really well, just match up, contain, because I know it's gonna be hard to contain and stop Justin Jefferson, Thielen and everybody else. So as long as we contain them to short stuff and not go for the deep stuff, because one thing about your quarterback that our quarterback cannot throw is the deep ball. So you guys I know you guys will be throwing the deep ball on us a lot. So we have to, just to prevent, Cousins, from not throwing the ball deep a lot.
Yeah, I think that's key, getting to Cousins early, like not letting there be any opportunity to throw the ball to any of the targets. Oh, hey, Corey, what's up?
He says, Jade, also a key for the purple is not a lot of Adam Thielen's shoe. What?
That's funny. I call when I stream the games, because I stream all the games, I call the flags Adam Thielen shoes, because Adam Thielen wears bright yellow shoes.
I did not know that, but that's
Yeah.
something interesting.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric? I haven't seen this guy in a while, but how are you doing? I know you're doing really well. He just told me that D Ford is also playing. Ooh, D Ford is also playing, so that's a good sign because D Ford, this offseason was dealing with a lot of injuries. So,
oh boy,
hopefully he can have some snaps. But when D Ford is there, that will help out the defense because our defensive line needs all the help in the world. So.
And these teams are so similar, the Vikings and the 49ers. They're seriously like fraternal twins, these two teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Now comes the part of the show that no one likes, but we have to do predictions and scores. So I'm going to ask you first, what is a prediction that's going to happen in this game, and what is the final score?
Okay, I've been like going back and forth like all week, and I just put out my pregame video for the game on my channel shortly before this, and I'm like going back and forth. Oh man, it's so hard, and I'm probably gonna change my mind so many times before the end of the game tomorrow. But as of right now, man, it's so hard, and like. The pressure is going to be on the purple. They don't do well under pressure. Can they keep the momentum going? I don't know. So I'm going to say 30-27 49ers. I want the Vikings to win. I want them to win. Prove it to me. Prove it to me that you can prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. So I'm saying 30-27 49ers right now. But I would love to be wrong in that instance. And I don't like being wrong. But if I can be wrong there, that'd be great.
And see, Tommy Huxley, for some reason, he said, how about them cowgirls or cowboys? I am not a Cowboys fan, so
no.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, why did the Cowboys join this chat? What are the Cowboys doing in the chat? Get out of here.
Anyway, all right, so my prediction is going to be very simple. As long as the 49ers are running the football, getting 4 to 5 yards, open up the play action, have our playmakers yards after the catch, stay on the field, have consistent drives. Like the first 2 drives we had an 11-minute drive and a 13-minute drive in the last couple of games. Keeping our defense
insane.
Yeah. So as long as our offense is doing that, not like 13-minute drives all the time, but as long as we're on the field, long enough to keep our defense off the field, the offense is going to put points on the board. If the secondary does no penalties and we contain them the best we can, minimize their scoring opportunities, that's my prediction for us to win. So I'm going to pick a score. And the last couple of weeks, I've said the 49ers were going to beat the Rams for some reason. And
there you go.
The Jaguars, that's a really good question, but I still said we're going to win. I think this game's going to be close. I think whoever has the ball at the end is going to win the game. But
yeah,
I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to be a 49er fan, and I'm going to choose the 49ers winning 27-26. I'm just biased. So
by 1 point.
Yeah, ooh. I'm going to be biased. So everybody else, what is your score in the chat? So I want to listen to the faithful and everybody.
Yeah, let's see what everybody says.
Reaper Cobra says 24-17. Oh, he has a 1-score game.
Oh, all right.
And see, Tommy says, Jade, I don't like it. You are playing the reverse psychology. Stop.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about, Tommy? No, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the reverse psychology.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
David says, we need to stick with the formula that has been working. 49ers 27, Vikings 24. So this is a pro 49er crowd so far.
Yeah. And I mean, I over here in Vikings land, because I'm in Minnesota, I live in Minnesota. It's all Vikings over here. And like here right now, it's like, the Vikings, they could go to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl chatter is also happening. It's like they won 2 games. Yeah. They're at 500. What?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Luke Luna says 24-21 Niners.
Okay.
Gavin says 17-14 Vikings. Whoa.
Oh, there we go. We got a Vikings
pick. Well, okay. I think a lot of people are not going to know what this is from, but Ronaldo is better than the entire soccer team of Wales. So that's what he gets for saying the Vikings.
Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo, Cristiano.
Yeah. All right. We have a score 27-27.
Oh, Corey,
no.
like a tie. No, Corey, we don't want a tie. I hope not. But I mean, I could see it. What if it is a tie? Like how I hate ties. I honestly hate them.
If it's a tie, I'm gonna throw a fit.
I'm gonna be so annoyed if it's a tie. No.
Yeah, see, Nelson says Niners 30, Vikings 24. Garoppolo throws no picks. Cousins throws 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, he might. I could see. I mean, Cousins has been doing pretty well. I mean, he almost threw 2 last week. I mean, he did throw 2 last week that were reversed. So it's only a matter of time. Yeah.
All right. So before we end the show, I want you to tell everybody one last time where they can find you. If you have social media, let them know where they can follow you, because let's try to help Jade, grow more and more, hopefully reach the 1K mark like John Jay, because I want
I got to get on your level.
Yeah.
You got to get on your subscriber level.
Go ahead.
So you can find me on YouTube, obviously, and on Twitter. Those are my main socials, and it's at a hip hip lady on both is the handle on both. I also have a Twitch account. I've been doing a little bit of stuff on Twitch. I'm Skeptical Scholar Jade over there, but it's been a hot minute since I'm over on Twitch. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, mainly at a hip hip lady. I'm going to be live streaming the Vikings 49ers game tomorrow. I'm going to be popping on a little early, about 3 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to swing through, I'll be there as well. But yeah, come check it out. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on too, John Jay. I appreciate it.
Sure. I will check you out on your live stream of the game. I'll probably be screaming just like you, but you won't be able to see me.
Tell me, I love this question.
Oh yeah. Why do Minnesota people talk? Do you want to read the question? Because I can't stop.
Yeah, Jade, why do Minnesota people talk so Why do Minnesota people talk so strangely? You actually sound normal, not like those people from Fargo. Oh, geez. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm glad to hear it that he doesn't hear any accent with me. Those accents are so stretched out, and it is so funny to me. Fargo is technically in North Dakota. It's not a Minnesota city. It's in North Dakota. So, but I don't know. The only people that I honestly hear that talk like that are like my grandparents and like people like their age. I think it's like a Scandinavian thing, or like, I don't know, but yeah.
Anyway, well, you got to know Tommy in a funny way, but overall, the 49er faithful are really good. I know they're happy to see you on again.
Yeah, no, it's been great getting to know the 49er community and everything. It's been fun. Yeah.
Also, I want to let everybody know she was also on Jay in the Bay. So if you missed that, you can rewatch that. And yesterday was with 49ers First Takes, both good 49er content creators as well. And if you missed our first interview, you can go check that out as well. But she's been everywhere. She's been with all the 49er content creators. So
it's been fun.
For hanging out with the 49er community, because the 49er community, I know you like the Minnesota Vikings, but the 49er fans are the best fans in the NFL.
No, you guys have been amazing. Yes, thank you for welcoming me.
Yeah.
As an opposing fan.
But with that said, everybody, I want to say what's up to my boy Crazy Juice. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good Saturday. David says Jade is good at the accent.
Thanks, David.
All right. But with that said, everybody, I'm so glad you tuned into this wonderful, great series. As we get probably like 6 more times, we're going to be doing this Saturday series. But I'm glad that you came on twice this week, talk 49ers and Vikings.
Thanks for having me again. Yeah.
So just a reminder, this guy right here, this is John Jay. The person over here, that's Jade. She's a hip lady, and she is hip. She is hip. John Jay gives her the seal of approval. She is.
Thank you.
Lady.
Yep. Get the check.
And so with that said, everybody, I'm John Jay, and this is the 49ers Ultimate Report. You guys have a good rest of your Saturday, and tomorrow, go Niners with the W.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.